Coffee is a beverage loved worldwide, and many cannot live without it. Despite the various forms of consumption and debates over the best preparation method, there is a global consensus on which coffee is the most famous on the planet: Colombian coffee. Recognized globally and considered by many as the best coffee in the world, the Colombian product has captivated the international imagination, and Colombia is known globally as the place where the best coffee beans on the planet are produced. Despite its notorious quality, this idea cannot be considered an absolute truth. First, because there are coffees of different types and origins that are not produced in Colombia and are considered superior to those of Colombian origin. Not even the most expensive variety, Kopi Luwak coffee, which is harvested in regions of Asia from beans that pass through the digestive system of small mammals called civets, is found there. Furthermore, there have been polls that considered coffee beans planted in other locations, such as in some regions of Brazil, as superior to Colombian coffee. Although often perceived by laypeople as the main coffee-producing country in the world, Colombia is not the country that produces the most coffee on the planet. In fact, it holds the third position, behind Vietnam and Brazil, which is the leader and exports a large part of its production to Colombia itself. Nevertheless, the version of Colombian coffee as superior has definitely been embraced by the world, which can be seen even in films and advertising campaigns. The figure of Juan Valdez emerged as part of an effort to create a great national product. In 1927, major Colombian coffee growers decided to unite to form an entity that could represent the interests of their class and also participate in exports, in order to achieve better prices for their products in the international market. This led to the establishment of the National Federation of Coffee Growers of Colombia, FNC. Shortly after its creation, the Great Depression hit, and with it, coffee prices plummeted worldwide, leading many national producers to bankruptcy. Those who remained struggled in the following decades to survive, especially due to fluctuations in the international price of coffee. In 1961, the members of the FNC decided it was necessary to differentiate themselves in the international market in order to add value to the national coffee, so that Colombian coffee would no longer be seen as a mere commodity but as a premium product with high added value. To this end, they created a series of standards and regulations to standardize the coffee produced by FNC members, ensuring that anyone who bought Colombian coffee could be confident they were getting a product with consistent taste and appearance. Another directive from the FNC was for coffee growers to focus on cultivating what are called specialty grains, which involve more careful and selective grain selection, prioritizing quality over quantity. This became a characteristic of Colombian producers, unlike Brazilian producers who until the 2000s focused more on the quantity of coffee exported, basically the so-called commodity type. Colombian coffee is also divided into three categories: Supremo, the highest; Extra, the medium; and Excelso, the lowest, made from a blend of the other two. Beyond standardization and the new reality of Colombian production, coffee growers concluded that it was necessary to create a marketing campaign around Colombian coffee, so that consumers would associate Colombia as the location of the best coffee in the world. It is a fact that Colombia is a high-quality coffee producer, and its coffee-growing region has been recognized as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO for being an exceptional example of a sustainable and productive cultural landscape. However, it needed to be seen as the most sophisticated coffee option on the planet. That led to the second part of the plan. After the certification process, the FNC decided to create an advertising campaign to endorse Colombian coffee worldwide, especially in its nearby, wealthier market, the American market. This was achieved through a figure that represented Colombian coffee growers and, at the same time, presented a friendly image that showed the simplicity of the farmers. For this purpose, the FNC hired the American advertising agency Doyle Dane Bernbach, DDB, which came up with the idea to create a character that symbolized all these values. Juan Valdez, a peasant with his mule, a person who loves and lives coffee and cares for the beans as if they were a treasure. From this idea, the agency hired actor Carlos Sanchez to portray the Colombian character. Sanchez was Cuban and resided in the United States. Since then, the image of Juan Valdez has been used in television commercials, newspapers, and also in photos and labels, which were printed and stuck on the packaging of the exported coffees. Additionally, actor Carlos Sanchez traveled the world in the following years, representing the character to promote Colombian coffee, something that became a true asset. The more he appeared, the more people associated Colombian coffee with quality, and the more Colombian coffees were sold in the international market. The strategy continued for decades, and the character remained active in both advertisements and physical actions. To maintain the aesthetic over the years, it also gained new interpreters. The strategy was a great success, especially in the United States, and it made Colombian coffee increasingly perceived as the benchmark for premium coffees, which later came to be understood simply as the best coffee in the world, a notion repeated exhaustively in movies and TV series, and which gained the endorsement of major coffee shop chains around the world, not only in the United States but also in other countries such as Canada, Australia, and Europe. This action boosted Colombian producers linked to the FNC, who decided to take advantage of the explosion of the coffee shop market worldwide to earn even more, both abroad and in the Colombian market. First, the FNC members decided to create their own brand to be sold worldwide, which allowed Colombian coffee to be purchased either through individual brands or under a single brand that received batches from various local producers. This single brand led to the creation of a standalone company called Procafecol SA, which markets the Juan Valdez label, today sold in 25 countries. But with all this success, a question remains for you. What is the best coffee in the world? Share with us in the comments.